Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's realistic review in which we are taking a look at the F3D-1 Skyknight. We're taking a real look at this plane because the battle rating has been changed from 8.0 battle rating to 7.0, and that is where it should have been in the first place in my eyes. Finally it is where it should have been, and this plane now finally can perform a little bit more as it was supposed to, because at 8.0 it really had some problems and was outperformed majorly. The performance gap with the 9.0 jets was very big, and even with the 8.0 jets that it had around it, it was performing less than most. And at 7.0 it actually performs. Its actual performance is still not the best. It is just an average 7.0 plane, but at 7.0 it can definitely perform. This plane's maximum speed is 837 kilometers at sea level, 672 kilometers an hour at 4500 meters, and at 6500 meters it's 598 kilometers an hour. Top speed in a dive is 884 kilometers an hour before it redlines, and 995 kilometers an hour before it rips apart. Stall speed in the plane is also quite nice with 155 kilometers an hour before it completely stalls out. The control stiffening in the plane is very good. You'd notice a little bit of control stiffening at 750 kilometers an hour, but no real compression in that sense comes after that. So you just have a tiny bit of compression in the dive. So the top speed in a dive is definitely effective. Very nice when it comes to that, as we are fleeing from 4 enemy planes there, trying to get some speed and to get near some allies. My team has been slaughtered largely in this match, as we faced a lot of G91s with basically 7.0 team. We didn't have any 8.0s as far as I could see. So we've got one of these guys behind us and we're in a bit of trouble here. We're gonna have to maneuver against him. We cannot outrun the G91s, not for our lives. Much faster plane, and it is even more maneuverable, so we're gonna have a problem here too. As I dive towards the deck again to pick up some speed, the G91 has maneuvered a little bit too much, and we held our speed much better, and thus now we are capable of escaping. As you see, the Skyknight can take quite a few hits, especially from smaller calibers. The plane is quite sturdy, it is built very well and can take a lot of damage, which is quite nice. Firepower in this plane is great. You have 4x 20mm AN M3 cannons. I used default belt for it and it has 200 rounds per gun. I used an 800 meter convergence. The plane can also run with some bombs. You have the options as we go into a head-on here with an ME-262 going up. We're going after him, but he's trying to stall us out, of course, and in the vertical this plane is not the best. But you have options in the bomb loads: 2x500, 2x1000 and 2x2000. You also have the option to put on 2x Tiny Tims. That's also pretty nice. We managed to stall out here, but I think the 262 was also stalling out, so he's slow to catch up. We've got 2 above us and there's a 3rd one on the way. Surprise, surprise. You know, when you're outnumbered like this, there it is. So we are in a bit of a pickle here. We're gonna try to get out and outmaneuver them. They have more speed than me, so should also have more compression, as the Skyknight doesn't suffer a lot from compression. We managed to avoid 2. We had this one overshoot. Come on. Missed the initial shots, but we do get him with a pilot snipe. Nice. Punish them for their insolence. Oh yeah. So the other two guys are avoiding the airfield, which is good, and we could escape temporarily. But of course I'm the only one left, and there's at least 4 enemies left in the match, as we see here. 2 ME-262s and 2 G91s. This is going to be really difficult, as the ME-262s are faster than me and the G91s are both faster than me and more maneuverable. So very difficult to get out of this pickle. Anyway, a great firepower, like I said. The ammo load on this plane is excellent. 800 rounds total, 200 rounds per gun for the 20mm. Very nice. Acceleration in a straight line is bad. In a dive it's no more than average. The energy retention in the horizontal is excellent, which is quite nice. But in the vertical it's bad, and start to roll in the vertical and you lose a lot of speed pretty quickly. You'll stall out before most of the planes you face. Climb rate in the plane is also bad, so you do need a little bit of side climbing, and after that you need disciplined, concentrated play to make this plane work. Turn time in the plane is terrible. It doesn't improve a lot with the flaps, a little bit maybe, but yeah, not too much. If you don't want to turn in this plane is basically what I'm saying. The flaps do rip off at 590 kilometers an hour, which is alright, I guess. The roll rate in the plane is good. Maneuverability overall, with a terrible turn time and good roll rate, I would say is average. Overheating in the plane is not as bad as it used to be. I think they tweaked that a little bit. I used to say that it was very bad, but I would call it average to bad right now. You have to keep it in mind that you sometimes run at 95%. You cool the engine off. If you keep it at 100% from the start, climb with that, and then go into battle with that, you will eventually overheat. And you don't want to do that in dogfights. So sometimes you just have to cool it off when you get to the end of your climb and you're positioning yourself. Make sure you fly on 95%, and when you get into an engagement you put it to 100%. And that way you should keep it manageable. It is more manageable than it was when this plane was just released. That's my feeling about it. Durability, I already mentioned that it seems to be a pretty sturdy, this plane. And it can take quite a few hits with this, which is quite alright. This plane is a pure boom and zoomer, which you should use it at. It is not very good as an energy fighter, as it is not good in the vertical, and the acceleration isn't too good. And as a turn fighter you can forget about it in this plane. Boom and zooming is the name of the game. You gotta get up to altitude in the plane, which needs side climbing even at its new battle rating 7.0. You will need to side climb. You will need to get this plane up to altitude, and if you do get it there and you wait until you're sure or almost sure that you are the highest plane, and from altitude you start, then you have a good chance to have a decent to good match in this plane. The guns are good, they're all centrally mounted. You need to lead a little bit more than these, as the guns are placed at the bottom of the plane. It's usually some of the British planes also have this, like the Vampire. But yeah, so you need to lead a little bit more with the guns, but once you get a feel for it, they are devastating. They are rapid firing, high velocity guns, which are quite nice. And boom and run tactics and boom and zoom tactics definitely work. You don't want to make your zoom climb too steep, because then you will lose more energy and you have a chance that your opponent might catch up with you in the zoom, and you definitely don't want to do that. So you might, the safest thing to do is to make your boom, get your shots in, kill the plane or cripple it, and then run for a little bit in a straight line. The energy retention in a straight line is excellent in this plane. And then slowly climb back up and use that speed to transform it back into altitude, and then rinse and repeat and set yourself on another target, just like we are basically doing here. And if you miss, you miss. Don't start turning in the plane, especially not with a Yak 15, which is very maneuverable, as you saw. You don't want to do that in this plane. This is a big ass plane. Two-seater, meant as a night fighter for the American Air Force. Of course, night fighters don't have a role right now, They're trying to find a role for radar. I don't know if I quite like the implementation that they're having right now with the AB reticle for ground radar vehicles. I don't think that's the way to do it. I would say that you put more environment and weather conditions in, and that you then see everything as you would see it in other planes without it. That's how I would make a radar work personally. Let's take a look at the scoreboard, shall we? This is that first match with 3 kills. We've got rank does not matter, balancer, 32,000 silver lines and almost 2,000 research points. I'll see you in the conclusion. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Now that battle rating change on this plane was no small feat. This plane really needed it. At 8.0 it was severely outclassed against the 9.0 jets. Not even a chance in this plane. You had to fly it supremely carefully and disciplined if you wanted to get any results in it. At 7.0 it is much better suited to that battle rating. It sits much better there and it has a chance against the 7.0 planes. It still has a lot of difficulties against 8.0 planes, but it sits at the place where this plane should be, and it can finally earn its pay, let's say. Yeah, I find it quite enjoyable at 7.0, and it is actually competitive if you take into mind that you got to side climb in this plane, you got to gather to altitude, and you got to be disciplined and concentrated in your boom and zoom roll. You don't want to turn. This plane still is unforgiving in that sense, but it does have some strong points that makes this plane competitive in my eyes. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.